What's up, Plebheads? I'm Neo, and I'm here tonight with one of my best friends. You guys have seen him on the channel, and he'll be here for a long time to come.
Isaiah.
Isaiah, welcome. Tonight we're playing Kingdom Come Deliverance, and we're going to be looking to finish the main story quest that we started last time when we played. Now, last time we found this man brutally murdered in his home, and this time, well, we're going to go find out just what the hell is going on. So, of course, I just stayed the night in an inn, but now I'm hungry because, you know, I mean, logic would tell us I slept all night, so I gotta eat something. So let's go to the baker, let's get some food, and then we're gonna try and finish this quest. This is kind of like your environment. They have really nice environments, pretty decent. Unfortunately, the game is incredibly buggy, but you know what? I'm gonna let you experience it for yourself. I don't want you taking my word for anything, and I want you to give me your honest reactions as we play this episode.
Yeah,
Whether you don't have to respond to like storyline, because I know you probably don't know that much about it, but I want you just to kind of comment on what you see. Is that fair?
yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
I will start by saying I am a big fan of the Middle Ages.
And Jdog and I are as well. So of course now I've got some actual food, so I can eat that. And you'll see now that I've eaten that, you'll go down into my, and you'll see that the eat thing is no longer down there.
I see that.
Wonderful. And we are heading Limpy Lubosh. No, we are going to talk to the priest. Previously on Yu-Gi-Oh! Just kidding.
All right. Now, what are you running this at?
High graphics things.
I see you know how to wield a sword, Father. I wouldn't have expected that from a man of the cloth.
With a stick. I practice with a stick. A reminder of my youth and days gone by, and it helps keep me in good form.
The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
A bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child. All sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about it, and sometimes they do stupid things.
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhof was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know.
Dialogue back.
And I'd like to help you with
actually
your
isn't the worst.
investigation, but I can't.
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son, and one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
I've got no time for this. You might be happy to put people's lives at risk, but I refuse to, and I'll get that confession out of you by force if I have to.
You're threatening me. You want to fight me? Well, I never. Well, why not? Let's have at it.
All right, let's do it.
Missed.
Come on, you son of a whore. Oh, I'm a little more skilled now than I was last time, you son of a whore. Your mother fucked the goat once. Locked it. Oh, in the face! In the face!
Nice.
Come on, you goats bastard, let's go. Oh, you didn't think that pansy shit would work with me, did ya? Come on. Yeah, fuck you, father.
It's a sin to fight so badly.
Yeah, trust me. That's what I said to your mother last night, right before I fucked her. I'm surprised he's throwing down like this. Dodge that shit. Come on, father. Come on.
Hey, watch it. Folk these days.
I'll wash my hands and then kick your ass.
Wait, what just happened?
We're not done. You and I are not done, father.
Well, I have to admit you're good. I'm getting too old for this. Either way, if you think you'll get confessional secrets out of me with your fists, you're badly mistaken, boy. You can hammer me to death if you like, but the sanctity of the confession is unbreakable. I do want to help you, though. So come to the tavern in the evening, and maybe we'll come up with something.
I'll fight you in the tavern and then we'll share a drink!
Wow.
Oh my god. I mean, of course. I need something to eat. You know, it doesn't really surprise me, to be honest. Can I read these books? That'd be pretty bitchin' if I could. Ah. Cool. Well, let's wait until evening. Then we gotta go to the tavern.
Yeah.
So that was some hand-to-hand combat. Pretty decent stuff, but also kind of repetitive.
Yeah.
It's okay, though. I mean, I didn't mind it.
It's not the worst I've ever seen, but
It gets better as you level up your skills in hand-to-hand combat. And unarmed combat, I mean.
okay.
Be careful how I say that. I don't want to trigger the fanboys out there. Alright, let's see what we got here. So we got to meet the parish priest in the evening at the pub. Which, of course, as those of you may know, that is our favorite place to frequent. We always like to have a fight in the pub.
Nothing wrong with that.
Jdog and I need to have at least one fight in the pub.
Fine trees like that.
Right. But better to save a few if I can than risk them all dying.
True enough. Well, that would be much.
Are you serious?
Dad!
I'm going to gather a little more information.
To do
God
some
be with you.
info farming.
I've come in the name of Sahanush of Lipa.
I don't know nothing about it.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
I was coming from the tavern very late that night, and I caught a glimpse of someone entering the village. He looked like he was in a hurry. It was only a shadow against the sky, but after what happened, I wouldn't wonder.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
Not with anyone from the village. He used to sit in the tavern next to us sometimes, but he never said much.
That's all.
Now this is evening to me. I don't know about you guys, but to me, this is evening. I wonder if he's in the tavern.
That's what he said, isn't it?
Son of a bitch. Why do I feel like I know where this
sorry,
is going?
I can't tell you everything. maybe we can work something out. But first, I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I've only got 2 hands.
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about your kin?
A tankard of ale for me.
Have you seen
They're dead.
the Eagle? I believe
I'm
that's
sorry
what
to
it's
hear
called.
that.
The one with
Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible.
Channing Tatum.
It seemed so pointless. We had no
The one
warning.
where it's like the Roman Empire.
They just appeared and began the
The
slaughter.
Lost Eagle
God
Battalion.
knows
Haven't
why.
seen it.
Very good.
They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, the girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. And I fled to Talmberg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovna. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but they...
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch Bernard.
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujits, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened in Noyo? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
Here, enjoy.
The rumours aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarrelled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claim. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home. I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop
Ain't that the
believing in the
truth?
church
Yep.
because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
Oh, you're just making excuses. The people who say the church is corrupt are right. You don't care about anyone, only your own comfort.
I'm sorry you see it that way. Really sorry. You've no idea how wrong you are.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Ujits isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical, condemning vices, and of course describing them in detail. The tongue lashing about the two popes goes down well these days, and stories from real life with a nice moral to them are popular as well, especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching
This is actually
of
kinda
Master
interesting.
Jan Hus about Mother Church.
Yep.
The lamentable well in which the church is drowning has turned to poison, and nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive fur, while Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticises the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
Do you like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
So this guy is plagiarizing.
What do the
Basically.
common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud.
I'll be kind of
Things that
disappointed
make
if this
them
is a
angry.
complete dead end.
They're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up, and the church will be shaken to its very foundation.
It just feels like a
unless they
commentary
burn
on
a
the whole
first.
last two lines.
Nonsense. They can't burn a
I wouldn't say
master
anything
of the
about
most
politics.
respected
Yeah,
university
I
in
mean,
Europe.
I'm not afraid to, but that's exactly
I won't
what
say
that
a
sounded
word
like.
about politics.
That's what that sounded like to me.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough.
I will not touch that.
It's getting
topic.
quite late. What are your plans, Father?
Oh boy.
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
Get turned up.
It's a good plan.
Ah, that sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Oh, you're gonna get him drunk and get some stuff out of him.
And some other shit's gonna happen.
How do you know? I do enjoy the music too.
Music is great.
The ambience is pretty good. See, I kind of like this.
It's a nice setting.
It's a nice little cutscene.
Cutscene,
It's got a good feeling to it.
Too bad the first 2 hours had nothing like this.
This is actually pretty neat. Oh, you're gambling now.
Enough of this. Bailiff, come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
The fucking ground!
So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can ride is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
This is gonna suck ass. This is gonna suck.
This is actually entertaining.
This part has been fun.
You've reached a new level in drinking.
That's twice.
Oh, that's awesome.
A lot of people be like, why is he taking so long? Ready? Come on, you son of a whore. Come on! They can't block right now. The lighting in this part is terrible.
Yeah, move into the light.
You'll get one.
That was a good fight.
Nice.
Watch the step, my dear. Careful, you don't hurt.
Oh,
Godwin, you're a buffoon.
I pat. What? Oh!
What the heck?
I'm drunk. I'm drunk stumbling in here. Whoa!
Oh.
Yeah, I'm in a private area. Oh boy, this is gonna be a fucking disaster.
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
We can't do this, can we?
Who says?
Get
We're gonna have
ringing,
one.
wench.
In the middle of the night. This is actually entertaining.
What am I gonna title this episode? Gone Wenchin.
And now, my dears, comes the
Climax.
of the evening.
That's when it's time to pair off.
It's literally exactly what you think it is.
Come here.
Do you get hangovers too?
Priest has mounted up. Shall we take a little ride of our own?
Climb aboard!
You wake up in a field.
Best episode yet. This has been the best part of this game. I don't give a shit.
Hey, Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Are you gonna kiss?
No, he's gonna puke though. Fucking bombed out of their asses.
Godwin, you beast. Get up. Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards.
Oh, fucking hell.
Who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. And we have a wonderful time.
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. Oh, my guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh, what was that woman on about? Wait, before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
It's Mass.
Where the fuck am I?
What the Mass. Oh shit, I have to say Mass. I gotta say Mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me.
I'd like to help you, but
You can. You can do the sermon for me.
This is fucking funny. This is actually the best part of this game so far.
A murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. Suppose it's Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look, from what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless.
I'm like a true drunk.
How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
He's up. I got this.
It doesn't even give you an option. It's like, okay.
All right. I can't make any promises about what will happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubosh.
Christ almighty.
Wonderful. But
Fuck, I am.
Oh, you're still hungover.
I mean, I'm smashed out of my mind. Alright, hang on here. Bread roll. 2 bread rolls. See if I can't soak that up with something.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna drunk stumble my way in there. This will be a fucking riot.
This is fun.
What the fuck?
Look, he can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Look at him.
Oh my god.
Now, throw up.
I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
He's like, fuck off.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
Don't take any more wine.
Cepit panem in sanctas at venerabilis a manus suas. Hoc facite in meam commemorationem.
You made it look like, yeah.
Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest
This is funny.
of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan
This
Hus
is gonna be a fucking
is
riot.
a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
Now I'm curious which one of them will cue first.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
Cheek.
Creation has given to every man the power by which he might rule the whole world. But that power does not give him the right to rule. That right belongs to God alone.
Continue harshly. Harshly.
No. Doesn't matter, they're all the same.
Harshly.
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, humans, hunger, and chaos. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame. Shame upon them.
It is the custom of the gluttonous prelates and monks to preach against sin. But what do they know of us ordinary folk? Let us remember the marriage at Cana, where our Lord Jesus Christ himself feasted with the other guests and drank his fill. And when the wine was gone, he performed a miracle and created more. He, whose companions were poor travelers, simple folk, prostitutes and troublemakers, performed a miracle so the feast could continue.
Now that's the kind of sermon I like to hear.
No, brothers and sisters. Jesus did not condemn alcohol. Drink to lighten the cross you bear in this vale of tears, but not with such abandon that you cannot keep holy the Sabbath. For there should be moderation in all things, and it is not drinking itself that is sinful, but intemperance and beastly indulgence.
He's right.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you pay enough coin to Mother Church.
What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates! Away with them!
We're fortunate to have our good father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
I say to you, in the words of Jan Hus, he who knows much, let him speak much. He who knows little, let him speak little. Let each speak as much as he knows. And he who knows nothing, let him at least teach his neighbour one virtuous deed by setting him good example and refraining from playing dice and from fornication. And that applies both to priests and to you, brothers and sisters.
That's his conclusion?
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
You enjoyed it last time?
We went on a first date.
Oh, nice.
It wasn't as good as the drunken scene. That was a decent sequence.
That was.
That was a lot of fun.
I enjoyed it.
Can we not have these conversations when I'm trying to load?
Is it there's supposed to be a cutscene in there, or is it just dialogue?
I don't know. I think the game is loading. Hello?
The game is drunk too.
Okay, yes, I read that. Oh my god, this is what happens when your devs don't finish the game. Ugh.
There's literally nothing else.
No, it's
No,
such
I
a
know,
great
I
scene,
know.
and then this has to happen. Jesus Christ. Riki from Ledechko, Pious Timmy.
At least he's honest.
Jesus Christ.
Is the game file corrupted? Jeez.
No. So, this whole sequence plays out in a loading screen.
This is supposed to?
I don't know. Oh my god. Abysmal! Well, at least we're about to continue this quest. Oh my god, dude. Ugh. Look, that was probably the better part of this game, that whole sequence with the church.
I enjoyed that.
That was really funny. And to be honest, the sword combat in this game is okay. This episode was hilarious, but that glitch at the end there, that whatever the hell that was a travesty.
Yep.
Shit like that has to stop. $60 games, that can't be happening. Come on, Warhorse, you can do better than that. Anyway, I really did enjoy this episode. I really enjoyed the conversation that they showcased here. It showed natural human conversation and dialogue.
It was fucking funny.
It was. It was hilarious. It was probably one of their better, more Game of Thrones-y sequences that they've had. And I really enjoyed it a lot. I'm Neil.
I'm Isaiah.
We're the Balding Plebs. At least I'm part of it. Isaiah is my main man joining me here.
Working on it. It'll be a couple of years.
Yeah, keep up with the stress at work and you'll be joining me in no time. But anyway... very, very glad to have Isaiah here for this episode. If you liked it, make sure you hit that like button, comment down below, let us know your thoughts on the episode and the playthrough so far for Kingdom Come Deliverance. It is a game that has a lot of promise, but a very poor delivery, and I would like to see this game get a lot better, especially if you're all going to be spending $60 on it. I have to thank Brayden for supplying the Steam key for this game because I would not be doing this playthrough without it. I certainly wouldn't risk my own $60 on it. It has a lot of work to do before it's at that level. Anyway, I want to see you all right here next time for more content like this and more Kingdom Come Deliverance. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
GG, ya plebs.